All right, I brought John on because I felt like the section should have something Smash Brothers related at some point. I mean, that's what I know a lot of people like to hear, and I was unfortunately missed out on every other section of it because it was all in American times, and I think I was like in bed asleep when the tournament was going on. But
those darn Americans.
Yes, I know. Taking all the fun. I asked John to come on because we were talking a while ago trying to think who Fighter 6 would be before, but even who Fighter 5 would be. I remember we talked about whether it would be a Dark Souls character,
right?
Namco one, and figured now that we've got Min Min and we've got 5 more to go, why don't we just give a little speculation on who we think it might be, who we want it to be, and all that. So there's no real order to this conversation. Why don't we start with? Why don't you let me know which character you think we might see next?
All right. So my speculation has changed a tiny bit. Before going into this new Fighters Pass, I was just kind of going for anyone I wanted. But I think there's been one little pattern, and that is something they stuck to from their word, and that's that each DLC character has brought with them some kind of new gameplay element. And we've seen with Min Min. Min Min plays like no one else in the entire roster. Neither does Joker with Arsene. Neither does Byleth with those multiple different weapons that she can shift between through. So I think that's still going to be a theme going forward. Apart from that, though, I don't believe there are any rules. So what I'm going with, my first character is one that doesn't play like anyone else, and that's because they're in a ball. I predict that the Monkey Ball characters are going to be in the Fighters Pass.
Wow.
And I've mentioned this before, and people are like, how can they possibly fight? They're just in balls. And like, there's so many party games that you can pull from. There's Monkey Fight, Monkey Target. There's so much you can do with Monkey Ball characters. So I think they'll be really, really fun.
I mean, realistically, Monkey Ball, you move the level, not the character, so maybe the gimmick is that you just control the stage and tilt it left and right.
That'd be amazing.
Roll Monkey Ball into them. I've thought of Monkey Ball, but it is that same thing of they're in like a big ball. How is this going to work? Like, yeah, so you can jump out of pies if you like just running into people, like constant dash attacks, plowing through everybody.
That'd be amazing. I'm not a big fan of Banana Blitz, but that game gave us anything. It's a jump button, which does work in Smash. So
that's true. And
the way I see it is basically the recovery is Monkey Flight, or Monkey Target even. So when you they just sort of open up the ball and sort of fly around and glide. They have the boxing glove from Monkey Fight, so that could be like a smash attack or something. Banana Blitz has like 50 different mini games you can pull from, so there's definitely no shortage of potential moves that you can give them.
I want a snooker one. Snooker was always the best mini game in Super
That's
Monkey
great.
Ball. Like, yeah, that, whether it's AA or whichever monkey is in there, because I'm assuming you can just probably hot swap whichever one, Bowser Jr. style, because they'll all have the same ball. Either get to sneak Q out or a snooker.
It doesn't matter what they look like, because the animation is the ball, so anything can be in there. You have Ai, Baby, Gon Gon, Mimi. All the late game one. I can't remember any monkey that's not from the original games.
Yeah. Super Monkey Ball would be cool. I think we could get a Sega character. But my two choices have been flip-flopping a lot recently. I kind of want to see a second Sonic character just because I feel like I really like that series could have one, and I'd like Dr. Eggman to be the choice if they did, because I think he'd be pretty neat if he's in like his his Eggmobile from the first game floating around similar to Bowser Jr. does. It could be very similar to Bowser Jr. in fact.
The final Smash just makes itself. The Death Egg robot. Like, that's
exactly.
So obvious.
It jumps down into the level or it goes into the background Giga Bowser style and just punches. There's so much you can do there. But if it wasn't a Sonic character, I'm still really big on getting Puyo Puyo into Smash. And getting Al Nadja in there. Like, I've been supporting her since 2017, I think it was. Like, before Ultimate came out. Before Ultimate was announced. I think I've been pushing for Al in there. And I still think it could happen. I feel like Sega commented recently saying how Puyo Puyo is a bigger franchise for them in Japan than Sonic is. Which to me
with Al as well, like, it's not just Puyo Puyo. She comes from a dungeon crawling franchise that predated Puyo Puyo. Like, technically, that's a spin-off of that.
Yeah, technically, it's like Persona to Shin Megami Tensei. It's where the spin-off overshadows the original substantially. Yeah.
But yeah, she could be a really fun character. Just her design is fantastic. I'm imagining a Puyo Puyo stage in the background with a bunch of Puyo just flying down. They can sort of dynamically shift where the platforms go by popping each other. Like trash can come down. There's so much you can do with Al.
Yeah, there's a ton you can do with Al, and it should just be neat. I think she'd also stand out from the rest of the DLC characters, because one thing I've been trying to avoid is that the RPG look, like the typical RPG. It's why I don't really want Lloyd in as a character. I was all on the Hiachi train for Bamco, and that's just been ruined. It's just derailed because of his Mii costume. But we already got Byleth and we already got the hero, and I think both of those do a good job of getting the fantasy setting intact. But at least with Al, they'd probably go for her more chibi look that they've been using recently, as opposed to her regular original anime look from the Mado Monogatari series. So I think that that would stand out a lot more than something like Lloyd would, or another Tails character. I kind of just don't want a Tails character. I've got nothing against the series, but of all the Bandai Namco characters they could add, I feel like Tails would be the most boring.
We're going to anger the Tails fans here, but I completely agree. Tails is fantastic. I just don't think it's of the same caliber as Final Fantasy or even Dragon Quest. To me, it's a fun franchise. It's not quite the legacy, though. Yeah,
agreed. And speaking of Bamco, I don't know if you have any thoughts for a Bamco character on your predictions to come up, because I did originally, and it was Heihachi, and now that he's gone, I'm like flip-flopping on what to do.
Well, I've written down a few characters, and none of them are Bamco characters, but Klonoa would be really fun. Unlikely, but fun.
Klonoa would be a neat one. I feel like Klonoa should at least get a Mii fighter costume, considering the support, and at least a Mii hat. I feel like it would work really well, having the hat with the ears coming down. It gets like more Pac-Man representation in there, kinda. Because right now, Pac-Man in Smash Ultimate, his stage doesn't even represent him. So at least have Pac-Man on like Klonoa's hat or something. There's a bit more for that franchise. Yeah, agreed. But who is on your list then? We're giving one each now, so...
Alright, so following Monkey Ball, I had down a Xenoblade character. And I've been going back and forth a lot between who I want to represent Xenoblade after Shulk. And there's a lot of great candidates. And I was thinking, like, the obvious one is Rex and Pyra.
Yeah.
That's not who I've got down, though, but I want to elaborate a bit more on Rex and Pyra. So Rex can shift blades on the fly, which means that you can, like, have potential for multiple movesets within one character, kind of like Pokemon Trainer. And I think that could be cool. But who I have down instead is a character from a Xenoblade game that has no representation in Smash Ultimate besides one spirit. And that is Elma. I think Smash has a lot of sword fighters. Elma can break that trend by being a dual sword fighter, because she has two different blades. So she's kind of unique.
She's a blade herself as well, technically. That's what they call
it. Yeah. Yeah. She shifts between dual swords and dual guns. So there's a lot of different potential you can have for her. And besides just having Xenoblade Chronicles X in this game. Because there's no X music at the moment.
No, there isn't.
I've heard that's licensing issues. But I believe they can sort that out.
Yeah, I think they could sort it out for DLC. It's because Sawano, who's a well-known Japanese musician, is the guy who did the music for X, which is why it's so drastically different from the other two games. I mean, it's great though. Like, if they could get the Night LA theme into Smash, I'm all for it. It'd be the top song on every stage. I could have it be.
I just saw a comment in the chat saying Lloyd also wields two swords, but I digress.
True. Yeah, he doesn't wield two guns as well, so there we go.
That's true.
No, I've also got a Xenoblade character on my list. I think Rex Pirate is probably most likely, but I kind of don't want them at this point. Like, if there's going to be any Xenoblade 2 character, I would want Laura and Jin.
Oh, yes.
Because that would be good. And Torna doesn't have anything either in Smash. So
that's true. And the way the combat system works as well, where both the blade and the driver can fight, that's way more interesting than it works in the main game. Yeah,
exactly. I think Torna's actually got the best battle system, in my opinion, of the Xenoblade series so far. So that would be pretty cool. And we don't have any of Tetsuya Nomura's designs from Xenoblade 2 in Smash yet, which includes like Jin, Malos, and all the other of Torna. Right. So I think that would be a neat one. But I'm actually leaning towards the first Xenoblade Chronicles recently, mainly because I've just beaten it and it's been on my mind. But I kind of really want to see Melia get into Smash.
Ooh, good pick.
Like, I think she would be very unique, but still sort of have something similar to Shulk, where Shulk can pick his Monado arts through that, you could summon the different elementals with Melia, and then each one gives, like, a buff, a status effect, and then that buff is with you until you actually use it for the attack. Very similar to how it's done in the games. And, I don't know, Melia clearly has got a big focus with that epilogue stuff, the future connected things, where she's basically the main character of it. So they're clearly pushing her a bit, and it's more relevant than X and 2, as much as I'd love to see Elma. Elma was actually on my wanted list for the base game. And the further we stray away from that, the less likely I unfortunately feel like she is. Unless they come out and announce an X squared or something to come out.
X squared would be the best title.
Yes, it
would. But that's again falling into the theme of like completely new gimmicks in Smash. Like being able to store those elemental effects and buff yourself and then fire them off.
Yeah.
No other character works like that.
Exactly. And I think it's not too dissimilar from what Shulk's does from picking through his arts, so it would fit with the rest of it, with him as the Xenoblade characters. But while being completely unique in its own right. So I think Melia would be cool. I think the only thing holding her back is that it's a remake and that she's still... It would be like 2 characters from Xenoblade Chronicles and no one from any other game in the series. But, oh well. That can happen sometimes. Look at all the Gen 1 Pokemon after all.
It's on the cards, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so before we go to the next one, we also got a donation from Ogumon for Smash, who is... says he wants Ogumon. He represents visual B-Pets. Could you bring yourself to punch a Chara and Nintendog? Imagine having the ability to evolve the Greymon at any time. But if you can't revert to Ogumon before draining a gorge, you devolve to Ogumon. Digi versus Pokemon 20 plus years in the making. Yeah, there's a lot of good reasons to have Ogumon. I've been watching the Digimon Adventure anime that they redid, so I'd be all for Digimon for Ogumon. I think that would be a neat character to have, even if the design's a bit simple for Ogumon. But simple's fine. Wow. Anyway,
it'd be very out there, which I'm all in for out there designs. Any character that's not really predicted all the time, that's way more exciting.
Yeah, that's true. I want surprises. No one thought we would actually get an ARMS character.
Exactly.
And there we go. And look, everyone's super hyped for Min Min now. Okay, so what's next on yours then?
So, I want to report a crime. Nintendo have a rhythm game franchise, and only 3 of those songs are in Smash. That's not acceptable. So, what I've written down, I don't mind who the character is, what I've written down is Rhythm Heaven. I need this. It doesn't matter if it's the Chorus Kids, or if it's the interviewer and the and the wrestler. It can be anyone. I just want anything, any stage, any representation of Rhythm Heaven in Smash.
See, I really want to join you on that one. It's not on my list, but a Rhythm Heaven character was one I really wanted. I really wanted Teberi from Rhythm Heaven Megamix, the bear with the big pink afro.
Yeah.
And felt like he could do a universal Rhythm Heaven, kind of like Duck Hunt, who does it for all of the light gun games, but does it for all of the rhythm mini games. I thought that would be really cool. I think the only Rhythm Heaven character I'm not too keen on is Karate Joe, and that's only because he's a bit too similar to Ryu in how he looks. I mean, they've both got this very similar gi martial artist look, and I'd rather have something completely out there if I was going to go for Rhythm Heaven, because it's such an out there series.
Yeah, I think your idea makes the most sense, having one like central character who can call upon the other ones, because there's no real main character of Rhythm Heaven. They all have their own little gimmicks that they can pull upon, but making a moveset out of any single one of them is a little tricky. So just like Dark Hunt, I think that's the most logical way to go with this.
Yeah, and someone said in chat about the barista. The barista could work. I think he's in every single game, so I think he could work.
And a stage could be really fun too. Like, I imagine the way it works is the background music is all from Rhythm Heaven, and it has like a backing track, like a metronome, and every single time a beat occurs, like damage amplifies. So
be cool.
You're basically doing double damage by sticking to the rhythm.
I wonder if this is the one thing that's gotten in the way of a Rhythm Heaven character. Maybe Sakurai felt like their attacks would need to be done to the rhythm. Like, if you do the attack to a beat, then you get a damage increase, but that's like really hard to tell, especially in a game where the music can always be changing.
and there's over 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
So maybe that's been the big issue facing Rhythm Heaven, because they were clearly thought of at one point. So my next character for my list is a third-party one, and it's Travis from No More Heroes.
Ooh.
I feel like No More Heroes 3 is becoming like the Bayonetta 2 of the Switch. It was announced really early on that Travis was coming back. It was already a popular action series. Suda's been quite open about wanting Travis in Smash. And with a new game coming out this year, that's like, I think it's meant to be this year. Maybe it's been pushed back to next year. We'll need to find out from Suda himself. I feel like there's lots of stuff, there's a lot there for some kind of No More Heroes representation in the Smash Ultimate as DLC. I think a character would be good, similar to the treatment Bayonetta got, but I could also just see it being a Mii sword fighter. I hope it's not, though. I hope it's more. But Travis would be super cool. It would be a new series. It'd be a new company. It'd be he's visual, even though he uses a sword, it's like a lightsaber, and he's visually distinct from the other cast. Like, I don't think anyone on the cast looks like Johnny Knoxville, which is exactly what Travis is. So
I'm just imagining Travis like swearing at Pichu now. I think this could be really cool though. Like, Travis has to sort of charge up his sword as well, so there's a little gimmick there. We have to kind of manage your power at certain points, kind of similar to a few other ones, but not quite the same.
Yeah.
And he's a wrestler, so Incineroar and Travis can finally go down, and we can find out who the true, most powerful wrestler in the universe is.
See, that's the follow-on for Incineroar's trailer that everyone's been saying, like, oh, they'll do... He actually will come in, follows on from Incineroar, and they'll have a big fight. Like, no, it's going to be Travis, and they're going to have a big wrestle-off.
Yes.
Travis will just appear behind Incineroar and full Nelson him.
That'd be amazing. And Travis has all those mini games where he does chores as well.
Yeah.
Really fun to get those sort of mundane abilities in there and just like mix it up, make it crazy.
I think you'd be very crazy with Travis, and I think that'd be really cool. So I want to see him. I hope to see it. I hope we get him. Right. So next one for you. I think this is number 4.
Yeah. So this pick, I gotta admit, it's not a fun pick. It's just kind of a logical pick, and that's Pokemon.
Okay.
They haven't done a Gen 8 Pokemon yet. And they don't usually go through a Smash cycle without having some kind of new Pokemon. And we had Incineroar, but that was for Gen 7. That was prior to the DLC. I'm pretty confident a DLC Pokemon's going to come along. I've written down Toxtricity. I don't know, though. I don't know if they're going to go with the new wrestling legendary. I forget the name of them.
Or whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think they would go for that, but I think Toxtricity has sort of got this fan following behind him. He's a very cool character, and we haven't really got any Pokemon that's quite like him in Smash.
Yeah, that's true. Like the poison electric punk guitarist.
Yeah, do you think that's the best Gen 8 Pokemon you can go for? 'Cause I've gone through the entire Pokedex a few times, being like, who's the best Smash candidate, and I'm honestly not sure.
To be honest, I really don't want to see a Pokemon added in as DLC. I think there are a few good options. I'd really like to see a bipedal one get added in. I'm kind of all for Zacian, the legendary dog with the sword in his mouth. Like, I think he'd be a pretty fun one to have.
Just another anime sword fighter.
Yeah. At least this one's on all 4s.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah. I know a lot of people really want Grimmsnarl for some reason. I don't get that one.
Okay.
I kind of want the hamster Pokemon. I gave it the nickname Big B in my run, so I actually forgotten what it's actually called.
Is it I've forgotten the name too. I know which one you mean though. The one that looks like Pikachu but he's tiny.
Yeah, like I think I quite like that one as an option to come in. There are a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, Morpeko, yeah. I'd like Morpeko if I had to pick anyone. Or Surfetch'd, one of those two.
Surfetch'd would be fun.
Yeah, Surfetch'd would be a pretty cool one, even if it's Gen 1 again, kind of. Not really. It's technically Gen 8, but there's evolution of a Gen 1 Pokemon. I don't know, I kind of just don't want to see a Pokemon. There's already enough of them in the roster. Yeah,
it's not like a dream pick, it's just kind of it'll probably happen.
Going from that same logic, I think my next pick is Geno from Super Mario RPG. I think Geno's very likely to get added in finally. Could be the last one they add, but I think it's definitely very possible. Especially because we haven't got the Mii Fight costume. Though, again, I said the same thing about Heihachi, and look what happened to me.
I mean, I think with Smash Ultimate, especially in the base roster, they kind of got the big fan favorite picks in there. We got K. Rool, we got Ridley, we got Simon Belmont. It feels like they're just kind of going across. We even got Banjo at some point.
Yeah,
it feels like they're going across and just picking the big fan picks and finally bringing them to fruition. And Geno, he's been asked for since. I think I've been seeing speculation for Geno since Melee. It's been a long time.
I think it has been that long, which is why I think he's very, very possible. Mario RPG could definitely get a bunch of stuff in. Like Super Mario RPG, it's only got the 2 spirits and no music, so it can have its whole section. We get Smithy Spirit and all of that added on. I know some people want to see Geno and Mallow, and I'm fine with that. I don't have any personal attachment to Geno, partly because Mario RPG didn't release for us until the Wii over here in Europe, so...
Yeah, that's what I often bring up. Americans seem to want Geno a lot, but half the world never played Mario RPG, or at least not until the Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah. And so, I don't have any personal care if it happens or not, but enough people I think have wanted him for a long time, and they've been getting their hopes back up again since Sakurai confirmed that he is aware of the Geno support and is a fan of Geno himself. So I think it could happen finally. Yeah.
And he's a legendary spirit, so clearly he holds some kind of importance.
Exactly. So before we move on to our last pick each, we got another donation, $10 from Alex Arts here, who wants Professor Layton in Smash. He thinks that his gimmick is that all of his moves would involve technical execution to use optimally, like you're solving a puzzle. The final smash is throwing everyone into one of the moving block puzzles, and also Emmy shows up to do his grabs and throws.
I'd love that.
Yeah. I was a big fan of wanting Professor Layton, I think, on Smash for 3DS. Like, I thought, if they have a focus on handheld stuff, then Professor Layton's so big on the Nintendo DS. It just makes sense, and it obviously didn't happen, but I'm surprised we haven't got any level 5 love from Smash yet, considering Nintendo basically publishes their 2 core games outside of Japan.
If we stretch, I suppose we can say Dragon Quest VIII Hero, because technically they're involved with that. But that's a stretch.
That is a stretch, though. Like, even if it's just a Mii costume, I think Professor Layton Mii costume would work really well with the top hat. It's pretty iconic.
Yeah, for sure.
So, alright, in the last 4 minutes, what is your final choice?
Alright, we'll go through fairly quick. I always feel quite silly saying this one, because it sounds ridiculous, but I think, seeming as we've had Banjo in, Microsoft are playing ball. They are, I think, one of the most iconic characters you could have in Smash is Microsoft's mascot, Master Chief. And it still sounds ridiculous to even say that could happen, but I legitimately think there is a possibility that Chief could come into Smash.
Yeah, I'd be all for Master Chief. Like, Master Chief would be such a cool option. I'm a massive fan of Halo 3.
Same.
And he's, like, really iconic on the first-person shooter one. I think between him or Doom Guy, I'd love to see one of those two get in. Represents a
Chief is a bit
genre.
less brutal.
Yeah, Chief is definitely Chief is definitely less brutal than Doom Guy. I agree.
Yeah, and he has a lot of alien weapons, which I think could get past the age rating hurdles. Like, Chief doesn't just fire the UNSC weapons. He has all those Covenant ones. You can get get a Spartan laser in there or something, or you can get the plasma rifles. Just anything that's a bit more playful than like traditional bullets. I think that could get past Smash's problems, like plasma grenades as well. Like, throw
plasma
them rather
grenades
than
would be
throwing
really
actual
good.
grenades.
And then they just stick to opponents, similar to Mega Man's. I think having the Needler would be a pretty cool standard special, because then it's like it can just act like a regular bullet, but if you can keep it on the opponents, then it explodes and does more damage.
And the final smash, he fires a Halo ring.
And that would be a very over-the-top final smash. I'm all for it, though. Master Chief would be cool. You did remind me of Doom Guy. I do want to see him, but I didn't include him on these 5. But I did want to see him. I'm not 100% sure on him anymore now that we've got Bethesda rep in Bolt Boy, in as a Mii costume. But I think my last choice is Crash Bandicoot. I think Crash is like the next big popular mascot character that's not there. He's the closest thing we'll get to a Sony rep. I think his moveset isn't really unique. I'm not really sure what they could do to make it stand out from existing fighters. But then again, say the same thing about Banjo. I don't actually think Banjo and Kazooie are that unique of a fighter. They feel
Not
like
really.
Smash 64 fighters.
Uh-huh.
And I think Crash could be the same. Like, he's got a new game coming out with a new design. He's been on Nintendo systems. He's owned by a new company, being Activision. But I don't think Activision could be perfectly fine playing ball with Nintendo. I don't see why they wouldn't be. And I think having just Mario, Banjo, Sonic, and Crash all in one game fighting each other.
What a lineup.
Exactly, it's like a dream matchup. It's similar to Cloud versus Link back in the day.
Yeah, it would be nuts having Crash, Cloud, Snake, Joker. Just all these PlayStation characters in Nintendo crossover.
Yeah.
I'm all for Crash as well. I especially like his new design. I know there's some mixed opinions over it. But yeah, the Crash 4 design is one of my favorites so far.
Yeah, I think with Crash 4 coming out, it's a shame it's not coming to Switch, but that doesn't necessarily matter. I think with the new design, the new game, and all that, there's a lot that they could do for that, for having Crash in Smash. And it's also worth noting they ran like a Smash ballot back in the day for Super Smash Bros. Melee in Japan, where they wanted people to vote which characters they wanted to see get into Melee. And the only non-video game character who was on that list that's still not in Smash is Crash Bandicoot.
Wow.
He's the only one. So this could finally be it. Sakurai's secretly been working from that list this entire time.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
But that's our 5 each for who we want to see for a Fighter Pass. Just to end this all off, when do you think we'll get the next character reveal?
Oh, this is tough, because obviously development is going to be affected by what's going on in the world right now. I think we'll either get maybe just one this year, perhaps 2. I think just one, though. And I think we'll probably get them maybe in October.
Okay. In October.
But it's a really tough thing to predict, though.
Yeah, it is. I think we'll get 2 more revealed this year, even if only one actually releases this year. I'm thinking September. Like, because I'm trying to think September time, they might be when they actually do another Direct, hoping that Japan doesn't go into lockdown again, which it might do. But I feel like they've got they still got to announce a few stuff for the end of the year, and Nintendo's been announcing stuff monthly and all this. But Smash Brothers, I feel like that's a right enough amount of time. Like, even if it's announced in September, launch in October, and then announce the third one in December and launch it for next year. I think they're going to try to keep the 3 a year, at least 3 that we know of, and stick like that. But you're right, it is really hard to judge because of everything that's happened this year. It's thrown everything off, because I'm sure we'd know who Fighter 7 is right now if it wasn't for everything that was happening in the world.
Yeah, almost no doubt, yeah. But I'm excited. No matter who it is, I'm already really content with the roster. So anyone added, I'm all cool.
Agreed. Same. Alright, well, thank you very much, John, for joining me to chat Smash for 30 minutes.
Well, thanks for the invite.
No problem. Anytime. Hopefully when Min Min comes out tomorrow, we'll have to have a game or something at some point.
Yes, we've got to make it happen.
It's the best Min Min player. Alright. Cool. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you later.
You too. Alright, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.